And Ted, you can begin whenever you're ready.
Good morning, good afternoon, rather, Chairman DiGirolamo, Minority Chair Cruz, Representative Nelson, who represents my home district, and all the members of this important committee, which in many ways embodies the important work that government is intended to do to help those who, through no fault of their own, need our help. I also want to use this opportunity to thank Governor Wolf, Human Services Secretary Dallas, Deputy Secretary Thaler, and the Governor's administration for their commitment to human services and the often life-sustaining programs they are charged to manage. I'm honored to be here this morning, and I appreciate the opportunity to share with you my thoughts and concerns about proposed changes to the Office of Developmental Programs Consolidated and Person-Family Directed Support Waiver, which have a profound impact on the lives of 32,000 Pennsylvanians with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. I come here this afternoon honored to serve as Westmoreland County Commissioner. Since taking office in 2010, I have made human services a priority. We provide services and supports to more than 1,300 people with developmental disabilities. I've had the privilege of meeting hundreds of families whose lives are impacted by disabilities. I've had the privilege to hear about the pain and struggles as they attempt to weave through very complex systems to secure services to ensure the health and safety of their loved ones, not only for today, but for the future when they're no longer able to do it themselves. As Commissioner, I understand all too well the fiscal constraints and restraints of government. Pennsylvania has more than 15,000 people identified as needing services, more than 500 in Westmoreland County alone. I request that this committee provide a clear message that money specific to the wait list will be allocated in this year's budget and that the department develop a strategic plan as to how this will be addressed. The purpose of this hearing today is to respond to the state's proposed changes to the consolidated and PFDS waivers. Of specific concern to many is the newly developed community participation provisions. I'd like to commend both Secretary Dallas and Deputy Secretary Thaler for the revisions from the mandated percentages of 25%, 50%, and 75% of time required to more of a true person-centered plan, allowing for choice as well as medical and behavioral to be considered. The ability of the individual and their team to develop the plan is imperative to success. The process of documenting exceptions must be developed and consistent with the latest proposal. Additionally, the time that person receives community-based services, such as transitional and supported employment, must be factored into these calculations. All limits on the number of individuals in a community location or licensed facility should be removed. As CMS directly states, it is the person's experiences that are important, not location or size. It's worth noting, too, that the notion of community engagement is already in existence through the Home and Community Habitation Program. People can use their waiver money to employ a qualified habitation worker to take them into the community to do whatever they like, to a place and to a meaningful activity of their choice. This takes place after work hours or times directed by the individuals, and it's happening all the time. In addition to the impacts on people with disabilities and their families, these changes would also have a detrimental effect on local agencies that have served Westmoreland County residents for generations. Places like the Westmoreland County Blind Association, Clellian Heights School for Exceptional Children, and many others. All of them offer a vast variety of services designed to meet the needs of the individuals who choose their services. I've worked hand in hand with service providers and therapeutic staff, and I'm so grateful for the critical work they do every day. It also needs to be acknowledged that these professionals are grossly underpaid and deserve to be paid a living wage. And it is the responsibility of the budgetary process to establish rates that allow providers to do so. An annual cost of living or market evaluation should be built into the rates. These rates have not increased for 6 years. And according to Social Security, the cost of living has increased nearly 7%. Any mandates that do dramatically affect their staffing ratios and their reimbursement rates must be adequately funded, or you are putting at risk their ability to provide a much-needed and critical service. Organizations like these that have had such a profound positive impact on bettering the lives of both children and adults now find themselves, and the people they serve, in a state of uncertainty, if not outright desperation. Unless anyone here thinks that these sheltered workshops are some sort of draconian sweatshops, I would be pleased to arrange a visit for any of you anytime. You'll see some of the hardest working and happiest people you'll ever meet. Admittedly, I wasn't expecting that. But really, folks, the implication that people with disabilities can only have a meaningful experience with people without disabilities is frankly offensive. For those who seek different employment options and have the abilities to do so, I say congratulations. I'll support you and certainly the businesses who hire you. But their success, for which we all should be very proud, should not harm the workers who may not be able to do what they want to do for whatever reason, whether it be ability or interest. It's all about choice. Let me put it to you this way, for those of you who have children. After they graduate high school, are they assigned percentages by the state on how to spend their time? Are they told by the government they have to attend a certain kind of college or work a certain job? If they have a job, how would you react if the state just told them it's no longer good enough? That they have to leave something they love just to meet someone else's definition of success? Trust me, you'd be sitting on this side of the hearing. I'm here today for the residents of Westmoreland County who have a disability and for their families and the people who support them every day. And this includes my family. My wife and our family deal with the challenges, uncertainty, and fear associated with disabilities every day with 2 of our 5 children. Our 20-year-old Alex has autism. I'm honored that he's here with me today. He's endured a life of digestive and gastrointestinal difficulties as well as disruptive behaviors. He's never spoken. He is at that point in his life that his mother and I have long dreaded. What's next? He is scheduled to graduate next year, and the choice of where and how he receives supports and services must remain a choice and must include an array of services that best meet his needs. Our 14-year-old Quinn has Down syndrome. He too has had medical issues, has limited speech, and has behaviors that get in the way of his progress. And while Quinn still has the benefit of youth, his transition to adulthood is near, and it's constantly in our thoughts. Now, Alex will never be able to tell you with words, but we know he's happy at Clellion Heights. And he would be happy, safe, and productive in the workshop there with his family and his peers, with his friends and his peers, and the supervisors he knows and trusts. While Quinn still works his way through school, we're counting on him to have choice in his job after graduation. I'm here today for them and for all the Westmoreland County families I'm sworn to serve. The lives, well-being, and success of both children and adults with developmental disabilities, your constituents, are about much, much more than mandated percentages and limits. They deserve fulfilling everyday lives and deserve choices just like you and I. And that's really what is at issue here, choice. A term my friends and I in Westmoreland County have used repeatedly, and I hope effectively, to drive home the point. People with disabilities, like anyone else, should be entitled to choice. Their choice of where and with whom they receive vocational, residential, and community supports should be in the best interest of them and their families, their abilities, and their desires. Like every other American, they're entitled to independence and opportunity. And choice without options is not exactly a choice. I'm proud to be a county commissioner. I'm proud to be a county commissioner, for sure. And I'm proud to represent my constituents here. But I'm prouder today to be father to Quinn and Alex, and to represent the thousands of individuals with developmental disabilities, their parents and their families throughout Westmoreland County and throughout Pennsylvania. We're counting on all of you to help us. We're counting on you to work with the Department of Human Services to ensure a better way, a way that respects choice, a way that respects our children and our friends, their desires and their abilities, a way that respects families struggling with fears and uncertainty none of you will ever know or want to. We owe it to these families to get it right. We look forward to working with you to make it happen. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you here today, for your attention to this issue, and for your service to our Commonwealth.